Welcome back to the Purple Political Breakdown. How's it going? How's your day been? Today, we're going to be fact checking all the kind of claims and the things that were being said in the presidential debate. Today, we're using a website called PolityFact to do this. So let's dive right into it and give our thoughts about everything regarding the Trump and Biden debate, of course. So, first thing, Trump said Biden allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions. PolitiFact said pants on fire. Immigration officials arrested about under 3,000 non-citizens with criminal convictions, whether in the U.S. or abroad, from fiscal years 2021 to 2024. Federal data shows that accounts for people stopped at and between ports of entry. Not everyone was let in. The term non-citizens includes people who may have had legal immigration status in the U.S. but were not U.S. citizens. The data reflects people in the federal government knows about, but it's inexhaustive. However, immigration experts said despite the data's limitations, there's no evidence to support Trump's statement. Yeah, I mean, when Trump said this, I mean, I knew automatically he was lying. We didn't let a bunch of criminals come into the country, millions of criminals. That's just not true. They did arrest about 100,000 non-citizens. There is a policy put in place if you have very bad offenses, like violent offenses, you can't come in the country. Those are put in place. But that's the first one. Next one. Biden. I've changed the law in the way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. Mostly true is what they said. The Department of Homeland Security announced that illegal immigration encounters dropped by 40% to fewer than 2,400 each day in the weeks after Biden announced a policy largely barring asylum access for people entering the U.S. at the southern border. The policy was announced June 4th. But immigration experts caution that it's difficult to pinpoint a single reason for any change in border crossings. For example, other factors such as hot weather can affect migration patterns. Since the policy was announced only a few weeks ago, it's unclear whether the drop in illegal immigration will continue. Um, and Colleen Potso Kavanaugh, associate policy analyst at the Migration Policy Institute, told the policy could have a short-term deterrent effect. But Adam, defense oversight director at the Washington office on Latin America research group, told PolitiFact that no crackdown in the past decade has had a lasting impact. So the policy that Biden implemented to have 40% less fewer people, he did enact an immigration policy. I forget what it's called specifically, but I do remember it getting passed, being more harsh on the people that's coming in did have an effect. But I do think that is fair that they pointed out that there are other reasons, not necessarily the law, that could be that, whether it's the weather being way, way hotter and harder to traverse, of course. But overall, mostly true is what they said. Trump said, we have the safest border in the history of our country. Mostly false. Illegal immigration point between ports of entry at the U.S. southern border dropped in 2017. Trump's first year in office compared with previous first years. Apprehensions then rose and dropped again in 2020 when the COVID-19 immigration dropped drastically all across the world. In the months before Trump left office, illegal immigration was rising again, a spike in migrants, especially unaccompanied minors. So, yeah, the whole thing with Trump and illegal immigration, a lot of the reason why so less immigrants came in the country was due to COVID-19 and what is it called, Title 48, where basically he shut down the border and didn't let a lot of people into the country. So it's misleading in terms of how Trump handled immigration, because ultimately he benefited a lot that he could shut down everything using his executive powers due to COVID-19. Next, let's go into this one. Biden said, while talking about a bipartisan border bill, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. Yeah, I didn't think this was true. They said it's half true. The National Border Patrol Council, the U.S. Border Patrol's union, endorsed a bipartisan border security bill in February. So that's what actually happened. The security bill that we were talking about before that made things a little more harsh in terms of people coming in, they endorsed that bill. They didn't endorse Biden. So, yeah, I didn't think that was true either when I heard that. I thought that was a little manipulated. Trump said Biden allowed in 18 million people. This is false. Immigration officials have encountered immigrants illegally crossing the border 9.7 million times under Biden's presidency. When accounting for gotaways, people who aren't stopped by border control, the number rises to about 11.4 million. But encounters don't mean emissions. Encounters represent events. So one person who tried to cross the border twice counts for 2 encounters. Also, not everyone encounters let in. Many encounters result in deportations. The Department of Homeland Security estimates about 4 million encounters have led to expulsion removals. So yeah, the whole number of like 18 million people coming into the country is a lie. We had a lot of encounters of people and sent a good chunk of them back. But could you say from this, in terms of the encounters, at the very least, a 18 million, maybe a couple million probably came into the country? That might be fair to say. I would have to look into that a little bit more in particular because encounters can be multiple times. But yeah, that was another hyperbole statement. Something I said when I was watching the presidential election. Um, don't be surprised. A lot of things that Trump says is hyperbole and lies. I'll be surprised if anything he says is true. So we'll kind of dive into that. But let's go into abortion. Trump said the problem Democrats, he's talking about Democrats, have is they're radical because they'll take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. I knew this was false immediately. Like, I didn't need to fact check this. This is an absolute lie. This is not true. Let's see what they said. False. Willfully terminating newborn's life is infanticide and is illegal in every U.S. state. Yes. Most elected Democrats who've spoken publicly about this have said they support abortion under Roe v. Wade standard, which provided abortion access up to fetal viability, which is around 24 weeks. Yeah, so Trump was absolutely lying. Most, like I said, 99% of people do not believe in this. Like, you may have the crazy 1%, but 99% of people do not agree with 9-month, 8-month abortion. Trump was lying. I'm just telling you how it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute lie. Nothing else that was need to be fact checked regarding that. I mean, when I looked at the abortion thing, this was an absolute lie. So, inflation and economy. Trump said he caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. I knew this. Again, this is another statement I knew was a lie the moment Trump said it. It said mostly false. When Biden was inaugurated, year over year, inflation was about 1.4%. However, that was shaped by the still weak economy during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was still a serious threat when Biden was inaugurated. As the pandemic conditions improved, the economy accelerated. A lot of it is due to COVID. I've told this people to a lot of times, don't be misled. Consumers were ready to buy products, but the pandemic had prompted supply chain shortages. This, combined with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which raised gasoline prices, led to inflation. That's I forgot to say that. I forgot to tell people that. That's another factor in terms of the international conflicts that happened after COVID as well, with Russia and Ukraine, which is a big one in terms of gas and oil. Yeah. Economists generally say Biden's coronavirus relief plan, the American Rescue Plan, did exasperate inflation by putting more money into consumers' hands at a time when supplies were running short, but they do not believe that Biden caused high inflation single-handedly, which is, I agree. Trump also said, you look at the cost of food where it's double, triple, and quadruple. Again, I knew this was a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not, it's not a bias against Trump. He just lies a lot, which is why I want to call it out. This is why I want to do these videos, because I want people to know the truth. I don't want people to choose Trump if he's lying to your face. And we can talk about that. We can really have a conversation, but Trump be lying. False. Food costs have risen faster under Biden than under any of his 5 most recent predecessors. However, the 21% increase in food prices on Biden watch is well below what Trump claimed. Quadrupling food costs would be an increase of 300% or more than 10 times larger than what Trump said. Now, was it hyperbole? Yes. Now, did food increase under Biden? Yes. But again, that's mostly due to recovering from COVID and trying to recover from that, of course. So I think people need to understand that. Biden said, economists say Trump's proposed tariffs are going to cost the average American $2,500 a year or more. Mostly true. Most economists expect that Trump's proposed 10% across the board tariff on foreign products will force consumers to pay more. The specific size of that hit is open to debate, though Biden offered a figure somewhat higher than current estimates. Just days before the debate, the American Action Forum, a center-right think tank, projected additional costs per household of $1,700 to $2,350 annually. This is a right-wing forum, or center right wing forum, saying that this is the increase from Trump's tariffs. The Peterson Institute of International Economics, another Washington, D.C. based think tank, projected that such tariffs will cost a middle income household about $1,700 extra. Yeah, that's a big thing. I think people need to realize that we've seen an example of this happening from Trump when he did the tariffs on China. The goods from our agricultural sector, a lot of that, the prices increased tremendously. Like it was really bad under that time, and that was because of Trump's tariff. So, that is a situation that is true, and the idea that because he did the tariffs that helped the country is a complete lie. Jobs, Biden, semiconductor jobs to build these chips pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. Oh, I don't even remember Biden saying that. If I heard this, I would say that's probably not true. I mean, I actually don't know much about semiconductor jobs. The average semiconductor industry salary is around $170,000. Figures from the Oxford Economics and Semiconductor Industry Association, a trade group, show. But this figure includes all jobs within the industry and doesn't single out jobs requiring no college degree. To earn a salary of $110,000 or higher, employees in the semiconductor industry need undergraduate or graduate level degrees. Oh, so the reason why this is false is because he said that you don't need a college degree to get them, but you do. If you want to get a six-figure salary, you need a college degree. Yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty crazy, but you would still get paid pretty well, I imagine. But yeah, you need a college degree still. I think that was a little that was definitely misleading. Biden said black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. This is true. And the record for low black employment rate was set under Biden in April at 4.8%. It has been rising modestly since then to 6.1%, but that's still lower than it was for much of the first 2 years of under Trump. I think I said this in my video too, that the economy now, after recovering from COVID, is on par or better than what Trump did in the first 2 years of his presidency. And that says a lot, because a lot of your first 2 years is you kind of dealing with what the other president did. So the fact that Biden during dealing with COVID was able to put this into place, I think he doesn't get enough credit for it. Overall, Trump had success on this statistic too. When Biden set the record he was breaking was Trump's 5.3% in August and September 2019, which is why I say on par or better, because the first 2 years was good. I'm not denying that. Trump said the only jobs Biden created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back from the COVID. I knew he created more jobs, but I did say that this was like, when I heard this, I was like, I think you can say he gained some bounce back jobs. The stuff about only getting jobs for illegal immigrants is hyperbole, but the bounce back thing is interesting. I think you can take to that account. I wonder if they're going to talk about it. Since Biden took office in early 2021, the number of foreign-born Americans who are employed has risen by about 5.6 million. But over the same time period, the number of native-born Americans employed has increased by almost 7.4 million. So yeah, to say that he's just creating jobs for illegal immigrants is false. Biden said indicted me because I was his opponent. Yeah, this was a lie. We don't really need to go into that. I got a speed run because I do have something to do. Social Security is destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and this was a lie. To say that immigration will destroy Social Security, it's just dumb. It's like they said false. I knew it was false, but yeah, that was so stupid. Biden said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut Social Security. They say this is false. Biden went further than previous to say Trump would cut the program entirely. I do think I heard Vivek said he would cut Social Security. I don't know if I heard Trump say that. You do in terms of entitlement, in terms of cutting. However, Trump quickly walked that statement back. Okay, so Trump didn't say, or Trump walked back him cutting Social Security. Okay, got it. He does want to change Social Security, but cut it entirely, no. Trump said he wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. False. Biden proposed a tax increase of about 7% over the next decade, which is far lower than the 300% increase the former Trump said. Yeah, I mean, taxes have to increase to kind of deal with a lot of things. Just cutting taxes doesn't really help deal with inflation, right? So, but he really wants to increase taxes on the wealthy more so than anything else. Biden said, I said I'd never raise the tax on anybody if you're making less than $400,000. I didn't. So this was true. This is what Biden said. He said repeat that he will not raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. Like I said, he wants to raise the taxes for the wealthy. So shout out Biden for that. Trump said, "I gave you the largest tax cuts in history." I don't know if this was true. They say it's false. When it was passed in 2017, Trump's tax cut was inflation adjusted dollars, the fourth largest. Okay, fourth largest. Check it on suckers and looters, blah, blah, blah. Trump said, "I don't want to go in because there are a bunch of losers and suckers." Trump called this a made up quote. We can't fact check this because it's not there. This is like hearsay. This is hearsay. A lot of this is just hearsay. Crime, what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact. He's talking about back in the 1990s. They say it's false. Biden, then a U.S. senator, spoke about doing something for young people who lack supervision. Okay, move on. I got stuff to do, so I'm speed running. I got something to do. Healthcare. Biden said we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. Half true. Biden touches efforts to reduce prescription drug costs by referring to the $35 insulin price cap his administration instituted as part of the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. So he did something, not to the extent of $15, but he did decrease it to $35. Biden said Trump wants to get rid of the ACA again. Half true. Trump campaigned on a promise to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. I remember that. So this is half true. Failed, but Trump failed to do it. So that's why it's half true. Trump said, "I'm the one that got insulin down for the seniors." Yeah, this is not true. Foreign policy and terrorism. I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any this decade that doesn't have troops dying anywhere in the world. I didn't know if this was true, so I'm glad this is false. Some U.S. service members have died in combat abroad during presidency. 13 U.S. service members were killed in an attack as the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Okay, understood. Yeah, I didn't think that was completely true, but I guess this is withdrawing, but technically people did die, but they weren't in like combat. So, okay. We had no terror attacks under my administration. This was a lie by Trump. There were several major terror attacks from extreme global jihadists. 2017, there was one in New York City. And then apparently there's one in Florida too. So that was a lie. Regarding the 2020 election, the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. We'll move past that. January 6th stuff. Pelosi said, "I took full responsibility for January 6th. Pelosi didn't say that. Worst presidency rankings. Historians said that Trump is the worst president of all time. That is true. I've looked at that survey. That's 100% true. And the golf stuff was stupid. So I wanted to really speed through run the last couple because I got something to do. But we fact checked a lot of it. As you guys can see, Trump lies. Basically, everything Trump says is pretty much a lie. So I'm glad we got that cleared away. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys want to talk about it more, we can talk about it. There's nothing against Trump, but I'm just telling you what I see. He just lies to you guys, and don't let him lie to you guys. That's all I'm saying. Hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all have a good one. Take care, and peace.